Okay, good evening, yogis. Thank you for joining again. Hope everyone's feeling good on this Tuesday, and you've had a strong start to the week. I'm not going to be using music today. I'm getting closer to the point where we can record these classes in higher quality. I'm not sure if I'm just really not good with technology, or yeah, it's just quite a few hurdles I'm running into with regards to sharing the music, sharing this audio device, and so on. But I'll get there. So thanks for your patience. And yeah, I'd like to encourage us to start off standing today. So just again with these strength classes, when we start off seated, sometimes it's harder to get going. So yeah, starting off standing, if you're not feeling too well, I would encourage you to take rest, drink water, do whatever you can to feel good. And then we can get started. So bringing your feet together, inner ankles to touch, feet nice and flat on the mat. So as we move towards summer, it's going to become less risky for us to do these sort of strength classes, so that's awesome. So hopefully we can get into a little bit more advanced poses, but nothing. I'm not that into trying to get people to do too many crazy poses. And yeah, you can either cross your arms one over the other, bring hands into heart center, hands on your hips, or just leave your arms down by your sides. So whatever feels good for you today. And then let's use that grounding, use the contact of the legs with one another to lift upwards. So you feel that sense of comfort with different parts of your body touching other parts of your body. It gives you a sense of warmth, a sense of comfort. And then using that as a foundation to lift up, maybe roll your shoulders back slightly. And then let's close the eyes. So eyes closed, breathing only through the nose. So let's just focus on breath. Focus on wherever it is you feel your breath without trying to change the breath, and just noticing the temperature of the air, either in your breath or just the temperature of the air around you on the surface of your skin. And we know, as I mentioned in the message, we know the hardest part is getting to the mat. So let's recognize that with a few relaxing breaths. So you're on the mat now. You don't need to stress about getting here or the decision of should I do yoga today or not. So that decision's already made. And remember, when we start, we may be in a certain energy or a certain mood, but by the time we finish, it'll be completely different. So let's just focus on breath. If you feel inclined, you can constrict your throat for Ujjayi breathing. There's a grey lily in the tree here, so there's all these seeds dropping. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. So when we constrict the throat, we bring more friction into the breath, we bring a little bit more heat into the body, and we have another something to focus on. So we start to sharpen our awareness and increase our sense of presence. Okay, let's just take two more deep breaths. Let the tension in your face, your head, your neck just sort of melt away just a little bit more with each breath. Okay. And then we're going to open the eyes. So let's bring our right hand on the belly. So your thumb sort of just above your belly button and the rest of the hand below the belly button. And then we are going to take sharp exhales for Kapalabhati. So you just shoot little bursts of air out both nostrils, using the belly as your point of force. Just keep going, keep trying that for now. So you just focus on those short exhales and your lungs will refill automatically. So if you can do 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Empty your lungs now. Then take a deep breath and hold your breath. See, we're going to hold our breath for 10 to 20 seconds. Feeling a sense of space, sense of clarity. When ready, gently exhale. And then just take 1 or 2 normal breaths. 1 or 2 normal breaths. And then we're going to do 1 more round of Kapalabhati, aiming for 20 sharp, focused exhales where your lungs refill automatically. Beginning now. Empty the lungs. Deep breath, hold the breath. If you feel slightly lightheaded, that's normal. Just if you continue to feel lightheaded, maybe just take a rest, maybe sit down, but it should pass. And then for the next 10 to 15 seconds, we're holding the breath and bringing an intention into our mind. So whether that's for this practice or for the next hour or the next day, the next week. When ready, gently exhale. Okay, let's bring the fingertips straight onto the shoulders and just roll the shoulders back. So today we'll do quite a classic class or traditional class. So a little bit more of a flow than usual, rolling the shoulders forward when ready. So we're going to practice some sun salutations, Utkatasana chair pose or fierce pose, and then extend arms out to the sides, thumbs inside the fist, rotate the wrist. And definitely we'll come into our shoulder stand and our plow pose and a few, our bridge pose, our wheel pose. So we haven't done too many inversions lately. I'm still quite cautious about us practicing inversions in this sort of format, but when we meet at our outdoor event, we should be able to get more into some of those things. So flipping palms, extending arms up alongside the ears. And then let's exhale to bend to the left. Inhale, upright. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale, lift back up. And then continue moving like this as we gently start to, well, it's not that gentle actually, it's quite an intense stretch, but it's quite safe into the sides of the body, the obliques, and into the spine. And then from here, you can release the bind, but keep arms lifted. Separate your feet to hips width apart, and then exhale to twist to the left. Inhale forward, exhale twist right. And then when ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold forward, fold forward, fold forward. Okay, so we hanging out in this forward fold now, and we're just going to hang out here for a few breaths. I would encourage you to relax the neck. So let your gaze move back through the knees, through the legs, and just hang out. I would encourage you also to maybe rotate the wrists or just check out your hands, your legs. Take notice of whatever you can. This is one of the most important parts of yoga, just becoming more aware of ourselves, our bodies. Okay, and then bending into the knees as much as you need to bring the hands flat onto the mat. And then you want to, well, we're going to try lifting up the hips like this. So rotate the hips forward and then try to bring the hands closer and closer towards the mat. Continue to relax the neck. So don't force anything here. I am asking you to go quite deep very early, so just be careful. Okay, and then when you feel ready, you're going to step your right foot to the back of the mat and drop the right knee down. Inhale, arms up, Anjaneyasana. And I was actually watching a video earlier by a doctor who was doing this stretch, but with this back leg lifted. So you can even grab that right ankle now if you want to feel that. So you put your leg up against the wall, and he was saying that when you engage these hip flexors, it takes a lot of pressure off the lower back. So we practice this pose a lot, as you guys know, but maybe if you want to try it against the wall like this, you can, or simply grab onto that right ankle. And we're just going to stay in this pose for a little bit and just feel into the body. So feel into the mat or whatever surface you are on, and just feel into the different parts of the body, your ankles, knees, hips, the lower back, and neck and shoulders. Keep breathing. And if you can, just keep lunging a little bit further forward into the right hip flexor, but continue to lift up through the chest and breathe. Okay, and then let's shift into the half splits. Both hands to the mat, shifting into a straight front leg. And we've done this one also a few times. It's just a nice extension. So left hand to the mat, grab onto the left foot with the right hand and lift up. And then lunge forward when ready. And then we're just going to step right foot to join the left and fold forward again. Maybe even holding onto the backs of the legs, taking it a little bit deeper. So as I mentioned, we'll be moving into some inversions later and some back bends. So we're just going to start getting into some forward folds. And then when ready, we're going to bring hands to the mat. Step back with left leg, drop that left knee, and then inhale, arms up, Anjaneyasana on the right, lunging into the right side. So we open up the heart here, open up the throat, and as I mentioned last week, the heart chakra is associated with love, so which they explain as integrating the physical world with the non-physical world, and that's one of the symbols of love. associated with the heart chakra, and then your throat is about communication, speaking your truth. And you can feel that sense of openness and relief when you open the chest up like this. Maybe grabbing onto left foot or left ankle with the left hand. Just intensifying that stretch in the hip flexor. And then when ready, we're going to release hands to the mat, shift back in the hips to straighten over the front leg for half splits on the right side. And then when ready, we're going to step left foot forward to join the right, fold forward, and then on an inhale, lift arms up to the sides, lift up to standing. Let's interlock the fingers again, flip the palms to face up. And then we're going to move down. So you move sideways, and then roll the body forward, and then move up to the other side. It's quite important to breathe here. So exhale down, inhale up. I mean, it's very important to coordinate your breath because it's quite an intense full body movement, and you need to make sure that you have the support of your inhale when you lift up and the release of tension with the exhale as you relax the body. Okay, so getting into a nice rhythm of spinal movements. And then gently let's release arms to the sides and move to the front of your mat if you aren't there already. We're going to flow through a couple of sun salutations with a whole bunch of variations, which is pretty much what we normally do, but I'm going to do it a little bit more structured this time, like a little bit more traditional structure. Okay, so when ready, let's inhale to lift arms up. You could lift onto the balls of the feet, and then exhale to fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into a push-up position, and then exhale into chaturanga, using knees if you need to. Inhale to roll over the toes and lift your chest into up dog. Lift your gaze, fill your lungs. And then when ready, we'll push back to the first downward facing dog of this evening. And hold that down dog. Okay, and then walking dog out, so bending one knee at a time, but don't sacrifice the straightness of your spine and your arms. So keep the arms strong, keep the shoulders strong, and the chest moving back towards the quads. You actually tilt the hips forward here as well. You're actually tilting the hips forward so that the whole upper body then follows suit. Is the correct term? Okay, and then from here we're going to gaze forward, and we'll just walk. We'll just walk one step at a time to the front of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. And then inhale, lifting arms up. I think I just said it. Inhale 3 times in a row. Exhale, arms down. Okay, we're going to do a similar movement again. Deep inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold. This time, stay here, breathe, and then let's lift onto the balls of the feet and see how far back we can walk the hands while still keeping them flat on the mat. Lift your heels up, lift your heels up. Okay, and then we're going to lower the heels. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Maybe you take a hop back into push-up or just step back into push-up. And then move down through your negative push-up, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to up dog, and then exhale, down dog. Deep breaths. So now start to get into more of your own rhythm. So obviously I'm here to guide you, but start to feel into your breath, feel into your body. And you can do whatever you want. You can wiggle around or lift legs up, lift arms up if you feel like it. You could sink forward into an up dog again. Okay, from here, we're going to meet back in down dog. Take a deep breath, lifting right leg all the way up. Gaze forward, exhale to step right foot between the hands. Lower your left heel and then lift both arms up. Warrior one. We actually very seldom do this pose in my class. I'm usually doing the high lunge with the left heel lifted. But let's try to keep that left outer foot and ankle moving down towards the mat. Rotating your left quad inwards, lunging into the right leg and lifting arms up. Joining the palms if it feels okay. And then focusing on your breath. Now, you might see a slight back bend here, but we're actually trying to tilt the hips back so that there isn't a back bend. On next exhale, both hands release down to the mat. Stepping back into the plank pose. And then we're going to lower down through chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale to up dog. Feel that strength. Exhale to down dog. Okay, so we can start to feel the heart rate accelerating a little bit now. Deep inhale, lifting left leg up. Gaze forward, exhale to step the left foot between the hands. Lower right heel, inhale, arms up. Okay, let's try rotate the right quad and hip inwards. Lunge and then hands, palms joined alongside. Palms joined, arms alongside the ears. Breathe. Deep breaths. This is where we give ourselves something that we wouldn't have if we weren't practicing yoga, which is this intense presence, in addition to everything else, the strength, the breathing. Because it takes that presence, that mindfulness to stay here and keep your technique strong. On next exhale, we'll release the hands down to the mat. Step back into your push-up and exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down. Okay, deep inhale, right leg lifts up again. Let's open the hip up and bend into the right leg. Okay, so you drop your right leg behind you. And then we'll start to rotate into that right hip. Rotate into right hip. And then reverse direction of that rotation. Okay, and then open up the right hip, drop the right leg behind you, but we're not moving all the way back just yet. See how much you can open into the right hip. Try to keep the left foot facing forward and left arm straight and engaged. And then we're going to step right foot forward again between the hands. Drop that left heel, inhale, arms up, Virabhadrasana, warrior one. Join the palms together, breathe. And then on next exhale, let's open into warrior two. Right arm forward, both palms parallel to the mat. Sometimes my arms are a little bit high, so see if you can just get both arms the same level and parallel to the mat. Deep breaths, guys, deep breaths. On next inhale, let's reverse warrior two. So really lunge into the front leg and open up through the right side of the rib cage. And then we're going to exhale, both hands all the way down to the mat. And then from here, moving into our standing split or crane pose. We're going to stand up in the front leg, lift the left leg up, and see how deeply we can fold the upper body towards the right leg. You may use one hand on the mat, one hand on your leg to assist as a bind into the fold. Keep breath flowing. We can start to feel ourselves getting a lot warmer now. Okay, I think we did the opposite movement before in one of the previous classes. What we're going to do now is swing this left leg forward, lift the left foot forward and bring your hands onto your hips or into your heart center. Okay, so left leg lifts up, hands into heart center or the hips or alongside ears. 3 more breaths from now. On next exhale, let's just simply release left foot and sink down into Utkatasana. This pose, if you feel like it's not intense enough for you, lift your heels up, reach the arms alongside ears, try to straighten the back. 3 deep breaths here. 1, 2, 3. Let's lower the heels and lengthen the spine forward like this. For 3 breaths. 1. Hands wherever it makes sense for you. 2, 3 to fold. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step or hop back into push-up. Moving down through chaturanga or knees. On the mat if you need support. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Breathe. So I really want you guys to try keep the fingers spread wide, palms flat, shoulders strong, but neck relaxed. Deep breaths. Okay, let's lift this left leg up nice and high and open the left hip up. Bending into the left leg, dropping the leg behind the body, but still keeping the right arm strong. And then let's start rotating big circles through the left hip, using the left femur, basically. Keep the arms steady, keep the arms strong, neck relaxed. And then reverse direction. When ready, we're going to gaze forward and float the left foot between the hands. Rotate right heel to the mat. Inhale, arms up, Virabhadrasana, warrior 1. Breathe. Deep breaths. Okay, so it's really a challenge here to bring this right hip forward without bending in the back. So trying to keep the spine as neutral as possible. When ready, we're going to open up into warrior 2. Arms parallel, shoulders relaxed. You could even roll the shoulders back. Gaze forward over left hand. Nice strong pose. On next inhale, let's reverse. Keep lunging into the left leg. Often, well, sometimes we reverse into reverse Trikonasana, but this is reverse warrior. So we stay in the lunge. Don't put pressure on the right knee with that hand or arm. And then on next exhale, we're going to release hands down to the mat on either side of left foot. Okay, preparing for our standing splits. We straighten into the left leg, lift the right leg up as high as possible, using one or both hands or arms to intensify the fold forward with the upper body. Focus on deep breaths in and out through the nose. Okay, when ready, we're going to sweep this right leg forward, lift the right leg all the way forward, hands into heart center on the hips or all the way alongside ears. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. 2. And on next exhale, we'll release right foot to the mat, take a slight back bend with hands together. And then exhaling to Utkatasana with hands together. Okay. So constant work for us to improve and correct our posture. Let's lift heels up. Hold for 3 more breaths. Keeping palms together, arms alongside ears. We're going to straighten in the legs, keep the upper body straight for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step, or float all the way into your negative push-up, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And then let's exhale to a child's pose. We're going to hold our child's pose for 5 or 6 breaths. I'm just popping out of the frame for these next few breaths. Be back in a sec. If you're feeling like it's not enough, hold your low plank. Okay, I hope everyone's in their plank. Okay, if you aren't already, let's move into that plank. I think I said low plank, but let's move to a high plank. So if you aren't already in your high plank, moving into high plank now, hold and breathe in and out through the nose. Okay, so taking it up a level, we're going to rotate onto in arc of right foot, out arc of left, and lift your hips and reach your right arm up. Okay, so we'll come back into a deeper, well, a more intense side plank in the next sequence, but starting off, this is tough enough for now. If this is too much, drop your left knee. Let's try hold here for 3 or 4 more breaths. Okay, just for one exhale, rotate the right upper arm forward. Feel that intensity in the core. Beautiful. And then we'll bring both hands to the mat. Exhale through chaturanga nice and slowly. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Deep inhale, we'll lift right leg all the way up now. And open the right hip up. So we're going to start dropping the right leg behind the body. Dropping right leg behind the body. And then ultimately moving all the way to wild thing. Drop your right foot behind you. Lift the hips up. Extend right arm in the direction of the crown of the head. And breathe. Deep breaths. Two more breaths. On your next exhale, right hand to the mat. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale to step it forward. Dropping left foot down, left heel. Inhale, arms up into Virabhadrasana Warrior One again. And then we're going to open up into Warrior Two. Inhale to reverse and hold for 3 breaths. Maybe lifting right heel up if you feel strong. And then on next exhale, we're going to rotate into extended side angle, right forearm down or right hand to the mat. Left arm forward, breathe. Okay, so we're opening left side of the body up. We're rotating the left arm forward. Deep breaths. On next inhale, we're going to lift back to Warrior Two and then sweep the arms forward for the high lunge. So now your left heel comes off the mat. On next exhale, we're going to release both hands down to the mat. Now, before we lift the left leg up into standing splits, now we're going to grab hold of that left ankle and try kick into the left hand as we fold upper body forward. Sorry, kick into right hand with your left foot. So it's a nice twist. Stretch into that left hip flexor, hold and breathe. Deep breaths, keep it flowing. Maybe you start to feel a little bit of sweat building up. Remember that. Whenever a bead of sweat develops, you wipe it away and another one just appears. So try to be less distracted. From here, we're simply going to step the left foot down. Inhale, arms forward into Utkatasana, chair pose or fierce pose for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step or float back into your push-up. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Hold down dog, breathe. If you're feeling strong, rotate lower onto forearms on the exhale. Inhales to lift forearms. Okay, holding down dog for 3 more breaths, or you can try this as well, low plank to push up like this. Low plank to push up. Not easy. Try it out. Okay, when ready, meeting in down dog, inhaling to lift the left leg as high as possible. Bending into the left leg, dropping it behind the body. Just stay here for now. Getting that nice twist through the front of the body. And then when ready, we'll release that left leg all the way back, lift the hips, and extend your left arm forward. We'll move into our side plank in a second. Breathe. Two more breaths. Now let's try transition straight into side plank by stepping your left foot forward, lowering the hips slightly, and then lifting your left arm. So you could try pushing your left foot in front of the right, behind the right, lift your hips, lift into the left arm, breathe. 2 to 3 more breaths. When ready, gently releasing left hand, left foot, pushing into down dog, inhaling, left leg up. Exhale to float left foot forward. Drop the right heel, lift both arms into warrior one with your whole body facing forward. Palms together. Deep breaths. On next exhale, we'll open into warrior two. And then shifting into reverse warrior for 3 breaths, possibly lifting the left heel. With every breath, with every difficult pose, we are getting stronger, building a solid foundation for a healthy life and for advancing our practice over time. When ready, we're gently going to rotate both hands all the way to the mat. Okay, so standing up into the left leg, grabbing right ankle with the left hand now as you fold forward. Deep breaths. Relax neck and hold. You could try opening the hip up or closing the hip forward. When ready, you're going to step right foot to meet the left. Inhale, arms up, Utkatasana. Lift the heels if that's the challenge you want to try for 3 breaths. 1, 2, let's come back to where we were. Lower the heels, upper body, parallel to the mat. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step, or float back into push-up. And then we're going to lower down to the mat, onto the front of the body for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Let's take a breather here. Resting chin or cheek onto the hands. Okay, lots of forward folds. We're going to try quite an intense back bend, locust pose, Shalabhasana. So if this is too much for you, this is where you're going to come back to. You're going to bring hands to the mat, squeeze elbows together, and lift into your cobra. Or maybe you don't even use the hands if you want to emulate more the back strength that we're going to be using now. So no hands. You can even try that now for a couple of breaths. Ultimately, we're going to extend the arms back alongside the body and actually bring the arms underneath the legs and the hips. Ideally, palms facing down, but it can be quite tough on the elbows. So you might face the palms upward. And then on a nice deep breath, we're going to lift both legs up, peeling the whole lower body away from the mat. So when ready, try to keep the feet close together and lift up and hold for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, keep holding, you can do it. 4, and 5, release. Take your arms away, just give them a little bit of a shake out, rotate the elbows. We're just going to try that one more time. You know where you can step down to in terms of intensity if you want to. Okay, so wherever you are, placing your hands wherever you're going to place them. And then when ready, inhale for 5 more breaths. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release. Let's push all the way up onto all fours. Sink back into child's pose for 2 to 3 breaths. And then we're going to shift forward onto hands and knees. And just sitting back on the heels again, rotating through the elbows. Like if you did what I was doing, it's quite intense in the elbows. Okay, from here, one more intense pose and then we'll start to wind down. So we're going to come back into our side plank. So starting off in plank, bringing left hand to the center of the mat, rotating onto in arc of right, out arc of left, and then lifting right arm up, possibly lifting that right leg. Let's hold for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, just stay strong, breathe. 4, and 5, we'll just switch sides, moving into your plank, right hand to the center, shifting onto the out arc of right, in arc of left, lifting left arm and possibly left leg for 5 deep breaths from now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll release onto our sitting bones. And we've done enough forward folds for today. So we're going to move back into our boat pose, our bridge pose, and then possibly into shoulder stand if you're feeling like that. You need an inversion, and how that might feel is it can really shift your energy. So I would say if you're looking to just change your energy, if you're feeling like your skin isn't looking like it usually does, if your breathing's been quite shallow, then the inversion is going to help you, okay? So also insomnia as well. So if you're struggling to sleep, definitely try the shoulder stand. But first we'll go into a bridge pose. So heels close to the sitting bones. And then we're going to lift the hips. And just hold here for a few breaths. If you're looking to intensify it, grab hold of your ankles like this. Keep the knees inwards and then lift the upper body. So very intense hip class today. Might be a little bit stiff tomorrow in the hip flexors. Keep lifting, keep breathing. And then if you're going to shoulder stand, I'd encourage you to first lower down, take a breath, and then lift up. If you're not moving to our shoulder stand with us, I'll show you a alternative shortly. So let's lift the legs up, using hands and arms for support. We lift the legs up Support the hand with the back with your hands, and try hold as straight as possible. If you are avoiding that pose for whatever reason, maybe you're menstruating as well, it's not the best idea to hold that pose for too long. You can try this lizard pose, so onto the forearms and just sending your chest back towards the mat. This is actually a very gentle partial inversion. So wherever you are, let's try hold for at least 5 more breaths. Two more breaths wherever you are. If you're in the shoulder stand, release legs behind you into plow pose. Arms extend forward onto the mat. Use your hands and arms as brakes as you gently allow the spine to roll back onto the mat. And then we'll just lie flat on the back for 2 or 3 breaths. Okay, and then classical counter pose to shoulder stand is fish pose. We move the forearms back. Okay, so you're resting on forearms. You really want to round into the front of the body here. If you want a challenge, an additional challenge, just be mindful of your neck. If you have any neck, a history of injuries or conditions, then please don't do this. But you are bringing the crown of the head onto the mat behind you and then holding here. You could also lift the legs up, lift the arms up. Wherever you are, rounding into the front of the body, let's try hold for 3 to 4 more breaths. Again, opening up the heart and the throat for love and connection. When you're ready, you bring chin to chest, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe you'd like to take a gentle spinal twist to the left and to the right. You could hold a little longer in your twists. Try not to strain. In other words, don't force yourself to twist too deeply. And then when ready, we're going to meet lying on the mat. Again, just for those of you, if you'd like to go straight into Shavasana, you can. Otherwise, lifting the upper body up, engaging the core, lifting the legs up, and then squeezing every muscle in the body, fists, forearms, biceps, shoulders, chest, core, buttocks, quads. You can literally engage every muscle in the body, probably most. And then let's try hold for 5 breaths, 1 or 5 counts, 2, 3, squeeze more, 4, and then release. If you are ready in Shavasana, I hope you're having a good laugh at the rest of us. And then we're going to move into our nice deep relaxation now for 2 to 3 minutes. Sighing out through the mouth, if that helps. Closing eyes, closing the mouth when ready. And we'll rest for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, guys, let's start to transition back to the evening, the day. So wiggling into the jaw, rolling the head from left to right, slowly, gently. Taking deeper breaths. You can take those breaths through your mouth or your nose. And then we'll shift into rotating the wrists, rotating the ankles. And then we'll take a deep breath, lifting arms up alongside the ears, pointing the toes forward, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. If you've taken a deep breath, when ready, you exhale to relax the body. Just rest here for 2 more breaths. When ready, we'll bring knees into the chest and move up to seated position. Sukhasana, easy pose. So bringing hands into heart center, let's close the eyes, sit up tall. And I would just encourage you to feel and sense and emanate self-love, just self-gratitude. You know, you should be feeling, I wouldn't say, I don't know if proud's the right word, but, you know, grateful for yourself that you've brought yourself to the mat. We all know how hard it is, as we were discussing and as I felt today. So let's keep eyes closed, taking 3 deep breaths through the nose. The limitless potential in me recognizes and bows down to the limitless potential in you, thanking your body, thanking yourself. Namaste. And then just another big thank you, guys, for your support and for making this, for keeping this alive, and hope to bring you guys more cool things as the weeks roll on by. And it's been really awesome no matter what. So thank you, and have a great evening, guys. Get some water, get some rest, and we'll see you soon.